Angelo Acerbi, Fred Film Radio from the Rome Film Festival. We're here on the red carpet waiting for Josh O'Connor and Eva Husson for the film Motherly Sunday. Hello, hi. So, Josh, first of all, your role is, I mean, this film is a love story. It's an impossible love story, this movie. But your role, your character has a huge burden to carry because he is a young man who came back from war while many of his friends didn't. So how this fact influenced your acting and the building of the character you made?
Well, I think like many people in Europe and across the world, the First World War was a very particular war because ultimately no one really knew what they were fighting for. So there was an awful lot of young men who were dying for seemingly no reason, but they were also, they thought they were dying for their country and dying for freedom, but there wasn't really. There was an awful lot of press that was telling them kind of misinformation. And then the Second World War was also so devastating. And this in-between moment of this kind of, and although this story is 100% about Jane Fairchild, I think from my point of view, like understanding a man who's been left with an awful lot of responsibility during a time when, as you say, a whole generation of young men were wiped out. It's a very particular experience. So. Yeah, it was a rare opportunity to tell that story.
Eva, the film has a very specific pace, narrative pace. It's it's not slow, but it's very well balanced, let's say it. How did you work with the screenwriter that adapted the book to keep this rhythm, let's say it?
Well, the final rhythm is always a dance between the rhythm that the script gave me and the rhythm that I found with the editor and the actors, and it's a slow dance. It took us 7 months to get there. So I'm very happy to hear that you find it balanced because it was really quite challenging to say the least. And there were a few nights spent on the floor, arms wide open, thinking we'll never get there. This is impossible, and like shifting scenes around, and making them shorter, making them longer, just to find the right amount of poetry and narrative speed. So I guess that's my best answer for that.
And how was the work on set between the actors and the director? Was it like a collaborative thing or?
Yeah, really not good. No,
really?
No, we got on very well.
She was a devil.
Yeah, she was a devil. No, we all got on very well. It's really, it's a rare thing to be able to make a film at the best of times, but to make a film during a global pandemic, I think we were all just very happy to be there and working, and we all got on very well. So it was lovely.
So did you read the book before?
Yeah, I love the book.
And
so good.
Did you find that the screenplay was correct?
Yeah. Well, I think it's impossible. No, it's a good question, but I think it's really difficult adapting a novel or a novella because they're a totally different art form. But I think Alice Birch is so talented at bringing out the visual and telling the story visually. And actually, the novella is quite visual. Like the details of the nudity and the sexual chemistry, the way that Graham Swift describes how Paul exists in his body, the way he explains Jane walking through the house in front of, this very grand house that is very male dominated. That's so clear. Alice brings it out, and then Eva brings it out into a visual format. That's it's probably the smoothest transition from a novella I've ever had, really.
One last question for Eva. Which was the most difficult part for you? Most difficult sequence or more difficult part in the film?
To be honest with you, I think it was working through a pandemic because it made what you usually get to do, like as a director, there's a whole human side to things where you gather people together and you see them and you're in the same room and physical contact in the sense of just being there and being able to work in the same space. We couldn't do that. I met some of my team. The week before, and I could not rehearse very much with the actors before. And so that made my job like just very, very, very hard to do.
Well, but at the end it worked. So you
Well,
must
I'm
be
very
happy
happy
about
to-
that. Well, thank you very much. Thanks
you.
a lot.
Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. They were Eva Husson and Josh O'Connor from the film Motherly Sunday here from the Rome Film Festival. I'm Angelo Acerbi for Fred, the Festival Insider.